What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter. You know, somebody asked me something about the culture. I want to share this with y'all because I think this is important. Me personally, I think the culture almost left once King Von and FBG Duck were killed. I say this because I noticed the culture then took a downhill spiral. It's almost to the point where the killings that made the culture not even really want to look at this shit. It's almost like people don't even really care about what happened anymore or what's happening anymore. It's just, it is what it is. It done took a little bit of the allure out the drill culture because the murders are coming so normal. Everyday life is talking about the murders. It ain't just listening to drill rap to see it now. Young kids on the block, everybody talking about my dead homies. So it's no longer surprising anymore because it became law. You know, Duck and King Von had the momentum. I say this, and I done said this plenty of times. After Zach TV passed, which I believe was the culture, a lot of people put it on DJ Academics, but I tell them Zach was the first doing this. Academics had a bigger platform, so people looked at him like he was the first, when really he just stole what Zach was doing and put it on his big-ass channel. But once Duck and King Von left this earth, the culture kind of changed. It became, you know, unshocking a little bit. People got used to these people getting killed and shot and dead and murdered, so it make the culture not want to really pay attention to it no more. I couldn't even tell you who the next rising drill star is in this shit. I don't think drill dead though. As long as it's murders, it's killings, it's the underworld, internet gonna always be attracted to this shit. I tell people that. But as far as just like the Chicago scene, the whole music industry then stole the Chicago scene. So the Chicago scene ain't really that sacred anymore, you know, because everybody acting like that. It used to just be you have to watch a Chicago video to see people talking about 30 dead homies and smoking dead people. Now that's everywhere. MTV, BET, VH1, every music channel you can figure. When Duck and King Von passed, it's like the culture left with it. Nobody left the culture in good hands. Chief Keef ain't get an artist who he can bring up to be the next Chief Keef. Dirk had an artist that I believe could have been the next Dirk or bigger than Dirk, which was King Von, but he lost his life due to gun violence. Duck didn't have that next artist. We had people like Cash, but once Cash, you know, was shot and killed, the culture really was gone. A lot of the founding fathers of the culture not here no more. A lot of people don't really know these younger people that's new in the culture. You know, this culture's so different that the biggest stars in this shit was shot and killed. And the few that was left kind of made it, like G Herbo, Lil Durk, and Chief Keef. Everybody else struggled to make it or either was took out of this shit. You know, Duck and King Von held the culture down when Zach TV lost his life and Chief Keef left this bitch. You know, you had Von, you had Duck. Don't get me wrong, you had Dirk. Dirk was doing it, but just on a major scale. But on some independent Chicago scene shit that make everybody put their eyes on Chicago, it was Von and Duck. Once those two lost their life, nobody really paid attention to Chicago anymore. You had people like Zay, Dirk trying to raise Zay up. We even seen PGF Nut get brought up. I'm not sure if those guys got the allure to keep the bloggers on them, bring all the, you know, producers and people that's higher up in the industry here to want to sign people. I'm not sure about that. Don't get me wrong, we got a lot of artists out here. I always thought that once Von left, the King Von guys would be extra big. Don't get me wrong, Mother Duke, Big, Gleesh, E-Dog, them. Everybody want to know about them. But I just thought these guys would be doing 1 million downloads. I'm not sure if they're taking this music shit serious. Because, in my opinion, they homie King Von was like the god in the drill culture. If it's one to say that, you know, not to be disrespectful to God, but he was like big in the drill culture. I would have thought that would have instantly rubbed off on his homies. Same way it kind of rubbed off on Fredo Bang for being cool with G Money and people like that. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. You know, I think Swag De Niro should be extra big being JoJo brother. You got guys like Rico Reckless, P. Rico. A lot of guys who are known as pioneers in the drill culture who still got that background. A lot of them guys kind of left the internet. Take a guy like P. Rico. He don't play internet games anymore. This is one of the guys who founded the internet shit. Rap catch-up beef, college kid beefs, Twitter wars. Hell, you barely see that guy on the internet anymore. He barely promotes his music. You still got Wooski, figurehead, one of the biggest guys in the culture. You got guys like Ruger. I still believe that the culture is in good hands. But, you know, it's not so many big pioneers in this shit. I can see this whole culture drying out pretty soon. I tell people this all the time. The Drill ain't dead. It's just the stars of drill rap are dead. It's no reason to bring the cameras here anymore, the allure here anymore. All the power heads are no longer here anymore. You want to interview a Zach, you want to interview a FBG Duck, a FBG Cash, you know, some of these guys from Old Block. Man, all these guys have been killed in Chicago. Your favorite drill rappers, the guys who have pioneered this shit, guys who are called the legends in this shit, the Mount Rushmore drill rappers, ain't too many of them still here. You know, if you had a Mount Rushmore where you was to put 6 rappers on the Mount Rushmore, okay, you would have Dirk, you would have Keith, you know, you would have like Vaughn. Who else do you put on there? You put Duck on there, you put G Herbo on there. Who's the next one? Lil JoJo. But then you can't forget guys like Mister. It's a lot of people in the culture who was dope. Fredo Santana. So who do you put on the Mount Rushmore, you know? Like I tell people, the drill culture is crazy. Do I think it's going to end? No, because it's always going to be violence. It's always going to be killings. This is the city where rappers get murdered, so that shit is going to always happen. But as far as progression, as far as the next biggest star, who can be the next Kanye West out of Chicago in the drill culture, I don't see that happening. I see other guys from different places blowing up. You see Pop Smoke, he was on a rise. K-Flock, he was on a rise. Ice Spice blowing up right now off the drill culture. I don't see nobody in Chicago getting that same kind of push. It's like everybody that stole the Chicago culture, our temperament, our mannerisms, and made it for their own. Nobody's reaching back out. If you blowing up off a drill record and you ain't reaching no Chicago artists who at least want to do a video in one of these sacred places out here, then you ain't really doing drill rap a real service, in my opinion. But I just wanted to say that, man. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. But I do believe the culture died off a little bit when Duck and King Von lost his life. I think when Zach passed, all we had was those guys. When those guys lost their life, the culture just shoot down. And once Cash lost his life, the culture really shoot down. It is what it is. If y'all agree with me, leave a comment. If you don't agree with me, leave a comment too. But I'd love to know what y'all think. It's homie True Teller Street Reporter.